That was a really, really, it's a really painful time. I'm sorry.
Please welcome Jada Pinkett Smith.
California. And Pat kept saying, you got to get out here. It's popping. You know what I mean? And now he's like, you got to come out here and visit. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to get out there. Pac was another one too that was just like, you got it. Jada, you got it. And I'm like, all right, I'm coming. You know? So I told my mom, I was like, you got two choices. Because I still wasn't quite sure yet. You know, I was like, I could go to LA and see if I can do this Hollywood thing, or I could become a lawyer and take all my dramatics to the court, right? To the courthouse. And she said, we're going to LA.
Wow.
Once I got to LA, I was like, you're here. Make it happen. And part of what made me think that I could do it wasn't just about talent, but was just my perseverance and just my go. I'm a pit bull when it comes to when I want something, you know, especially in my youth. I'm not so much a pit bull anymore. But in my youth, you know, once I put my mind to something, I was like, go get it. And I really felt like how everybody else feels, you know, like, yo, once I make it, once I'm rich and famous, all my problems are going to be solved. You know what I mean? My problems are going to be solved. My mom's problems are going to be solved. You know, everybody's problems are going to be solved. I got this. You know what I'm saying? And that was a trip because that wasn't the case. And I think that that's still prevalent. People feel like once you get to a certain level of success, you are exempt from the human experience. You are exempt from the human condition. And the truth is, that is not the case. And let me tell you, I had an existential drop in realizing, hold it, wait a minute, hold it. Like, my career is popping. I got money. I'm hot.
People are pursuing you.
I got every dude everywhere wanting, you know what I mean? Like, I can have anybody I want. Why am I not happy? God, now this wasn't the plan. I couldn't believe it because that was the whole idea. You make it. You pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. You make it and life's great. And thank goodness at that particular point in time, I had Pac that I could go, like we could share that together because he was going through the same existential disappointment. He thought the same thing. That was like the beginning of just like, wait a minute. Then if it's not this, then what is it?
It's incredible. Like you had a supportive friend in Tupac. You had this amazing friend who was saying, you've got this, you're talented. And that can really help.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there's a whole nother inner journey that has to happen with it. So that was externally, it was empowering, it was inspiring, it was great to have someone believe in you. And we all need that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it was like this other reminder of
the inner world was not together at all and being completely ignored. You know, and it would take me years to realize that, oh no, it's not just about what's happening on the outside, Jada. But if your inner world is not your foundation, it's all sandcastles. You know, I had a nervous breakdown, then I moved to Baltimore, I get a farmhouse there, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get out of LA. So I'm making a geographical move. I'm like, I just gotta get back to my roots. You know, I gotta get back to my roots. And then Will comes along, and I'm like, maybe that's it. I need a man, you know? And then it's like, latch onto that. It's like, okay, that's my new Prozac. Will, you know, now it's his job to make my life better. That doesn't work either. So the ego is just attached to all these different exterior things until eventually I had to crash into really having to look at the shambles of my inner world and rebuild it. And I say rebuild it because I feel like when we're born, that inner world is intact. But I had to really strip it all down, Jay, to the bare bones, the bolts, and just start inwardly from the bottom and just build. And it's been a wild ride. It's been a wild ride of what that means and what that looks like.
When it comes to your friendship with Tupac, which you speak about so beautifully in the book, and it's so wonderful because we get an insight into him in a way that you don't as just a fan of the music.
Right.
So as someone who grew up listening to him myself, it's like you get a certain perception of someone who's intelligent, but then also has this gangster lifestyle persona, etc. But then again, when you get context and you get to know about someone through someone who actually knows them.
Right.
And what I really appreciated, which I found fascinating, was just how you had the wisdom at that time to know that someone would be a special friend without being romantic with them.
Yeah.
Talk to us about it, because I feel like a lot of people struggle.
Yeah.
He was obviously into you and when you first met, etc., the way you describe it, but it's like, and there's even one point where you dare him to kiss you.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.